Hello. Hey guys, beautiful people out there. Let me know how you're doing today. I'm filming here from very rainy Vancouver. It's gray and rainy and damp and cold. So I'm making some warm mozza dip today. So chime in and let me know what you're up to today and how you're feeling, what your day is like. I just finished teaching yoga online, so I've got a little bit of like a bliss going on. I've been teaching yin yoga lately, and I join in the class because I'm teaching it on Zoom, and afterwards I'm just a little more chill because I've been part of the yin class. So anyhow, today we're making MOTSA dip from Plant Park Families, and this is the dip. And it's, as I was saying, it's really cold and rainy here today. Tell me how you're doing, guys. Where are you watching from? Are you making any food today? What are you up to? What's going on in your world? And yeah, I was just saying I was teaching online because our studios have closed down again for a little while. All the group sessions, places that have group classes like gyms and yoga studios, they've closed for a little while. And so we're back to online until things change again. So we'll see. So let's get cooking. And I think a lot of you are probably in Thanksgiving mode, right? You're starting to think about Thanksgiving, are you? We had our Thanksgiving back in October, so that's done for here. But I know a lot of you are planning what to make for Thanksgiving. And I think this could be a great Thanksgiving recipe. It's probably not like so traditional, but in terms of having something that's like fun food, pleasing dip, that kind of, yummy appetizer kind of a food, this one would be great. And it's really easy to make. This is one of the easiest recipes, and if you do not like nutritional yeast, you're in for a treat because this one has no nutritional yeast. Hi, Diane from sunny Arizona. Don't say that. From Labrador, Jillian. Hello, I'm originally from Newfoundland, so I know it's cold there right now for you. And I really want to be in Arizona, Diane. I love Arizona. I've been there a few times, and I know it gets extremely hot, but I really, really love the dry heat. So anyhow, I'm going to put my hair up and get ready. And we need three main things for this recipe. It's so easy. It's gonna blow your mind how easy this is to make and how it becomes really delicious and thick and creamy and almost like a mozzarella dip. You need almonds, oats, and potatoes. Ta-da! And then a few other things to make it come together. But that's the base of the recipe. And I made this recipe earlier. I'm gonna shift my camera down now. I made this recipe earlier, so my blender's still dirty. And the reason I made it was I wanted to have it prepped to show you. And I kind of did something a little different today, so I'll talk about that as I go through. So we're beginning with almonds. I call this the recipe of thirds because everything in this recipe, it's a third of almonds, third cup of almonds, a third cup of oats, and a third cup of potato. So when I make this, I use my twister jar of the Blendtec, and I forgot to put that link in the description for you, but I will add it, okay? I'll update after and add it. I do have the recipe in the description and some other links for you. These are raw almonds. Now, I use almonds in this recipe because I find a lot of cheesy type of recipes tend to use cashews, right? We use cashews a lot in vegan cooking and for cheesy recipes. And a lot of people say to me they can't eat cashews, but they can have almonds. So this is a great one for you if you can't have cashews. These are simply raw almonds, no seasoning. I don't take the skins off. I mean, you can if you want, but hey, that's a lot of work, right? Who wants that? Not me. So we're just adding that to the blender. And you do need a blender for this, not the food processor. The food processor is better for making things that are, like a dip or something that's smooth but doesn't need to be super smooth. But we need the blender here to make it really silky smooth. And then we have a 1/3 cup of potato. So I have done a couple of videos, and you can check my YouTube channel for those, or go back in my Facebook feed, where I show you that I will pre-bake or use my Instant Pot to steam white potatoes, not russets. I don't love russet potatoes. They don't have the best texture and flavor to me. And I know they're great for certain recipes. They're really good for making fries and mashed potatoes. I prefer for flavor Yukon Gold or Red. They have a sweeter flavor. They have a nicer texture, in my opinion. And so those are the ones I use regularly, and that's what I batch cook. So to do a recipe like this, batch cooking is really useful, and I talk about batch cooking quite a lot. So basically, you cook up a bunch of potatoes ahead of time, so you have them ready for something like this. And then you can use potatoes in all kinds of things. I use potatoes in wraps and sandwiches. I even slice them, put them on pizzas sometimes. Like, you can really put them on anything. Think outside of the box on that, right? So 1/3 cup of potato, all I do is, I don't measure this finicky. See what I'm doing? Basically breaking up the potato. Oh yeah, that looks like a 1/3 cup. Good stuff. In. You could leave the peels on, but they're pretty easy to take off, so I do take them off for the potatoes. And so guys, a question I have for you is, I'm making this dip, and I kind of want to serve it differently than a dip. So let me know what you think would be some good ideas for serving suggestions, like to make it more of a meal. So I'd like to hear your feedback, because I know ideas I have, but you know, we all have the same ideas all the time. So I'd like to get some ideas that are different. So what would you use? I just see a piece of potato got away. I'm gonna throw it in. It's only a little bit. Just not gonna throw things off too much. And then a 1/3 cup of rolled oats. So there's our 1/3 cup in the blender. So that's our base, the cup of, or the recipe of thirds. 1/3 cup of almonds, 1/3 cup of potato, 1/3 cup of oats. And of course you could use cashews here. If you prefer them, absolutely use them. Then we need to give it some seasoning. So we're gonna start with a little bit of lemon juice. There's always lemons half squeezed in my fridge like this. Bridget loves lemons, that's my 15-year-old. She'll be 16 this week. And she's always squeezing them for things and then throwing the half in the fridge, and then they just get kind of motley after a day or two, right? So anyways, I managed to rescue one today. They're always in the fridge like this. And she loves lemons, like even as a baby. I remember her once taking a wedge of lemon as a baby and just, really interesting, right? That sometimes they're born loving these things and they continue to, it stays with them. So let's see, I need 1.5 tablespoons, I think, of this. Let's just see. So the recipe is on my site, dreenaburton.com, and it's in the description. If you're just joining, we're making something called MOTSA dip. That's 1.5 tablespoons, or 1 tablespoon, and then 1/2. So this gives it a little bit of tang, not too much, but a little bit. And then we need some salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and my teaspoon measure is kind of mucky because I just used it for miso, but clean it off there a bit. Just a 1/2 teaspoon. And I think I have a little scant, so I'll make sure I'll just go this, not measure this all the way. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of miso. Let me double check that. Yes. So I say mild miso. I might actually put a little more in today. I think I'm going to use a teaspoon. I'm going to go wild and use a full teaspoon of miso. So I say chickpea miso. You don't have to use chickpea miso. I get that question a lot. No, you don't. The reason I like to use chickpea miso is, one, it's soy free. So people who have soy intolerances and want to make a recipe like this, then it's a full option for them. 2, it has a great flavor. It's so mild. It has a really nice, softer flavor than some of the soy misos. So if you see it, try it. It is sometimes a little bit more expensive, but that stuff lasts a long time. Like miso can last up to a year in the fridge. It doesn't last long in my house because the kids love it on toast. That's another story for another day, what we do with miso on toast and all kinds of combinations. So I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon, kind of round it today. This is actually a soy miso, but it's shiro miso, and it's a little bit milder. And you can tell if it's milder because it's lighter in color. So if you're looking for miso, go for a lighter color miso like this, okay? Not like a darker red one. And that's the miso, and that gives it this umami flavor. So sometimes we talk about umami in vegan cooking and how it adds this other element of flavor that we sometimes think might be missing in vegan food. And it's really important to get that like extra layer of flavor that you go, what's in that? And that's what the miso is doing here. And what else do we need in here? Let me think. Tiny bit of garlic, not much. Just a little bit of garlic. And if you want to put pepper in here, you can. I don't, because like a matzo dip generally isn't peppery, but if you want to, you can. You could also use a little bit of garlic powder or some, this garlic is not very fresh. This one's not bad. I gotta go through those cloves and clear them out a bit. And I see a question here about, Bernice, no, I didn't use russet, I used Yukon Gold, and I prefer Yukon Gold or red potatoes in terms of their texture and flavor. In general, I just find if you're going to sit and eat potatoes and just, if you eat potatoes straight up without any seasonings, I guarantee you'll find more flavor. Well, what am I going to guarantee that with? I'm saying in general, I think you're going to enjoy the flavor of Yukon Gold or red to russet. Russet is just kind of, it's lacking a little bit for me, and it's kind of dry and kind of powdery. That's why it works well for something like mashed potatoes. But Yukon Gold and red potatoes that hold their shape, they will hold their shape more when you cook them. So if you want to use them in a potato salad where it's chunked up in cubes, or in a soup where it's cubed, a Yukon Gold or red gold will hold its shape better. I also find it has much better flavor. It's a little sweeter and more moist. It's just, to me, it's a tastier potato. So those are the ones that I tend to use, and I tend to batch cook. So I'm just taking a little bit off this garlic clove. Didn't take the full amount. I just use a little bit. I always have garlic fingers. I'm always trying to rub them on the stainless steel to get rid of the garlic smell. Anyone have any other tips for the garlicky fingers and onion fingers? Especially garlic, it lingers. I'm always rubbing them on the stainless steel sink to kind of get the smell off. Yes, you're welcome, Bernice. And hello from Janine in Maine, and Leah in, oh, you're pretty close, in Washington. Snohomish, I think that's how it's pronounced. So that's our base, and then we have to add some milk. We've got a little tiny bit of garlic for flavor, not too much. A little bit of salt, no pepper unless you really want it. And then, you know, the thing is with a recipe like this, you can blend it and then even just taste it. Take a little spoon and just taste it before you heat it to see if, maybe I want a little more garlic in it, right? It's adaptable at that point. So we're gonna blend it. And again, I use my twister jar because this is a nice size for this dip. I'm making one batch, but if you want to double the batch, and I recommend that you do, because you could always freeze it before you bake it or cook it. So you could blend this and freeze it in advance. And then when you want to cook it, take it out of the freezer, let it thaw a bit, and then pop it on the stove top to cook it, right? So like extra prep work can be done in advance, say if you're doing this for the holidays, okay? So we need a cup and a little bit more of milk, and whatever milk you want to use is up to you here, right? If you want it to be soy-free, then obviously not use soy. Almond milk is great because we're using almonds in the base. I have oat milk here today, which I have soy and oats, so I don't think I have a lot of oats, so I'm going to do a little bit of both. All right, so we need a cup and a couple of tablespoons. So what I like to do with this too is not add all the milk right away. Did I not finish measuring? I totally didn't. I just poured some in and I didn't measure fully, but I roughly know how much I had. That's what I do sometimes. Okay, so I'm not going to put the full cup in yet because I want to get the almonds and oats really pureed first. So I want to put enough in to get it moving, but not too much that it makes it too liquidy too quick. Because when I do that, I do find that sometimes certain pieces are stubborn, like they don't want to blend fully. So use maybe about half the liquid, get it going, and then add more. That's a long way of explaining that to you, wasn't it? Okay, so I'm going to try to get the camera there for you. My camera looks like it's a bit foggy today. I'm just going to see if I weight my camera a bit. Hang on, guys. Okay, real professional methods here going on. Okay. I know that's loud, sorry. So I'm just blitzing the heck out of it. It smells good. And now I'm going to add the rest of the milk. And I think I need a little bit more, and I didn't even measure that really well, but I know I need a couple of extra tablespoons anyhow, so I'm just going to get those in there and blitz it up. So you could use a standard blender. It's just going to mean that you have to blend it a little bit longer, right? One of these Rambo blenders, I like to call it, they just, you know, they just tear through it really quickly. So the Blendtec is the one I've been using for years, and people always ask Vitamix or Blendtec. I prefer Blendtec. Everyone's got their own thing, right? I've tried Vitamix, and it's still an amazing blender, but I just like the design of Blendtec, and so this is what I use. Anyhow, here we go. Exciting TV right there, isn't it? Watching the blender go. Okay, and still, to me, it could use a tiny bit more oomph. And I'm smelling it, and I feel like it wants just a tiny bit more garlic. It wants, like it's asking me, a little bit more, please, just a little bit in there. Guys, I talk to myself all the time in the house, so it's not unusual that I'm doing it here. All right. So the beautiful thing with the Blendtec, yeah, it smells a little better. So there's the mixture. And as you can see, you can't really see the almond skins in there, right? It kind of just goes into a creamy color, which is really lovely. But the beautiful thing about the Blendtec is if you want to keep heating it or like heat it up, you can do that in the Blendtec. Hey everyone, just joining. Hi from Texas. Hey JL from Ontario and Jennifer from Texas. Hey there. Oh, Anita from Australia. Lovely. I guess you're into summer right now as we're going, or into the end of spring, I guess. We're going into winter. So anyhow, you can put this on soup mode and it will heat it on the blender, which I love, and it gets thick and you don't even have to transfer to the stovetop. So you're kind of saving that step of heating it on the stovetop. So from here, you would heat it on the stovetop, let it thicken, and then transfer it to a baking dish if you want. This is a nice step, but you don't have to. And then pop it under the broiler to get it a little bit brown and bubbly, like we have in the photo here. See? Oh yeah, upside down, that's good. Right there, see? So we just broiled it a little bit before serving. So I was a little lazy today because I was blissed out after yoga. So I didn't want to put it in the stove or in the pot and heat it on the stove. So I decided to instead pop it in the toaster oven. And what I did was I baked it for like 25 minutes at 400, I think. I could probably pop that in the recipe, but that's basically what I did. I mean, it's not like baking muffins where it's a science. You can kind of just check on it and see how it's doing. So I'll grab my handy dandy oven glove. And you can see it's baked up, right? And nice and browned on the top. And I don't have a chip or anything to dip into here. I could have had that ready. But yeah, it gets nice and kind of like thick and gooey, melty. See that? Can you get a sense of that? My family loves this recipe, and I haven't made it in a long time, so they're going to be pretty stoked that I made it tonight. But like I said, I want to think of something to serve it with besides as an appetizer. I mean, we can have it with veggies or tortilla chips or, you know, cubes of bread. But I'm still talking with this thing on. I think what I might do is layer it in lasagna, because I have lasagna noodles out there and it's really cold, and so that might be nice and kind of hearty and filling. Sometimes I do a soup and serve it on the side with breads. Anyone have any ideas of what you might do for serving it more like a meal? Another idea is to heat it up with pasta. Just cook pasta, pour the sauce in here with the pasta and let it heat up on the stove, and you'll have a really nice creamy warm sauce for the pasta. So those are my ideas, and I'm trying to think of what else I could go with, but like nothing's really jumping out at me other than the lasagna idea. So if you guys have some ideas, add them in the comments. And oh, and I forgot to mention, I just put up a gift guide on my site for, you know, the holidays. Obviously everyone's thinking about that now. I have a friend who has all of her stuff done and her box is out. I got my box from her yesterday. Oh my gosh, talk about, you know, making you shift into that season quickly. Like, oh, I gotta get stuff done now. I actually have quite a bit done because I feel like it needs to be done this year early. So, but I have a gift guide on my site, and I have some ideas for you that might be a little different, like some calming things, like a beautiful sound machine that I use myself, which is really lovely. And I have also, if you're a fan of the Complement product, the vegan supplement Complement, which I use myself. Wait, no. So this is the spray version. I'm now waiting on the actual tablet or the capsule. And I did a chat with Juliana Heber, plant-based dietitian, recently, and she was talking about the importance of having these certain nutrients and making sure we supplement with them. So we're talking DHA, EPA, B12, vitamin D. We know these are like essentials, and then we just tend to not get enough of them. And then also vitamin K and iodine. So that is in the Complement Plus capsule. And my understanding is that they're reformulating this spray to include it as well. So this is awesome for kids, because kids, as you know, taking a capsule is just too much, right? You can't give a kid a capsule to take, but a spray is nice and easy, and it's takes care of everything. You don't have to think, okay, I gotta give the B12 here or DHA. So anyhow, short of that story is I reached out to them and asked if they could offer a coupon for you guys for my gift guide. And so this is 10% off that you can enjoy now, right? You can get an order in before the holidays, and maybe even wait a few days for this new formulation to come out, but you can certainly get the capsules. So that's that. And I have a few other ideas there. So I hope you enjoy. And oh, I've got some ideas. Wait, now I want to get these out to you before I go. Good on top of chili. That's a good idea. Or as a mac and cheese sauce with broccoli. I love that. I don't have broccoli, but I have cauliflower, and that would actually be really good. Thank you, Jill. That's a good one. And Kathy says, again, lovely on roasted broccoli. See, and I was thinking of roasted veg too. So now I'm a bit torn, because I was also thinking of doing that. Maybe some, bake up some sweet spuds and winter squash, that kind of thing, and put it with that. So these are excellent ideas. Thank you. I love that you guys, sometimes, you know, it's good to get other ideas in your head than the same ones that are going around there all the time. So that's it, guys. I hope you like the recipe when you try it. And again, it's in Plant Powered Families, but the recipe is on my site, and I put the link there for you. And I also put the link to my gift guide and to the chickpea miso on my site. If you want to learn about that ingredient, I have the link there for that. Okay, so I'm going to be back soon, hopefully with another video. I'm just starting some new yoga training. I'm doing Kundalini yoga, which I'm really, really excited about. It's kind of like a new phase for me to learn, and I love the energy feeling that you get from Kundalini yoga. And so yeah, I started Kundalini yoga training, teacher training, and it's going to be busy for me now for a few months, but I definitely want to keep the videos coming because I love interacting with you, and I learn things, and you know, we're kind of like getting to hang out cooking. It's really nice. So yeah, I'll try to get another one soon. And then, oh, one more idea. How about on pizza? Love that idea. So if you were to make a pizza and not put vegan cheese on it, put your sauce, some veggies, and then drizzle this over, heat it up a little bit, and then drizzle it over. Really good. I might go with that, Diane, because that's easier than lasagna, because I have to cook the noodles, and that's a bit of a pain. I'm feeling like I want less work today. Okay, guys, I'm going to cut it there, or I will talk forever. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are, and I send you many blessings. We will cook and chat soon. Bye.